All right, we're going to check assembly here and just make sure everything fits properly before I do the final finish work on the blade. I have yet to sharpen it and also mark my name on it, which I'll show you how to do that in just a second, or how I do that in just a second. Anyway, let's go ahead and put this thing together. The Mk8s are remarkably simple. They are really actually pretty easy to assemble compared to some of my other knives. There's not that many screws in them. There's not much that really has to happen in order for this to go together. I put of course, the stop pin and the pivot in, bearing the back spacer, which is held in by these two little blind pins. That aligns everything. Go ahead and drop our blade on. And one of the critical things here is we've got to check and make sure it's smooth, which it is. And then set our frame on. Everything lines up. Looking good so far. And tighten everything up. Set our back screw in. You can see how simple these knives are to actually assemble. Not really a whole lot that can screw up. Maybe I've spoken too soon. Okay, no, that looks good. Alright. Oh, there's something hanging up there. We have to figure out what's going on there. It's probably some dust or something in the pivot. There's no play. I believe it's just some dust. I'll have to go clean it out real good. Looking good though. I did flatten out this thumb ramp here just a little bit to give it just a little bit more of a straight feel in the hand, and I think I actually like this a lot. You can see that's kind of what it's going to look like when it's done. Still got a little bit of work to do. I'll show you how I mark the blade and sharpen everything up. I got to smooth this thing out first before I do anything else. That's going to be the next chore. Ouch. All right, I think I found it. Let's try this again, shall we? These should be pretty freaking smooth when they're done. I will not release them unless they're absolutely perfectly smooth. The other thing is there's a big piece of rubber on the stop pin. These have to be really good because I certainly do charge a lot for them. But they are a good knife, and I will not let them out of the shop unless they're absolutely perfect. Okay, let's try this again. This is all part of the process, unfortunately. Sometimes things work just like straight out of the gate, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have to go problem solving on this. But we improvise, adapt, and overcome here in the Moon Shop, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and get that seated properly. Okay. Don't want it that tight. Okay, that's much better. Still something rubbing. I don't really know what it is. I can feel it moving. It's rubbing against the pivot, and it's actually causing this screw head here to move around a little bit. So what I'm going to do is re-ream this pivot hole here. See if that helps. Okay, that's freaking smooth. If that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. Let's try this out one more time, and hopefully this will all go together right. Unfortunately, it is one of those trial and error things. If it doesn't come out right the first time, you just got to try again. Tenacity is a very good trait in this industry. Believe me, I know. I've been through enough now making knives. I know how to put one together right. Everything just clips together, and when this thing comes together right, it's going to be so worth it. Okay, good. I'm not getting any of that motion I was getting. Okay, let's try this out. Got a little too tight. Hang on. Oh yeah, perfect. That's good. And this should just fall right in. All right, guys, check this out. I got my knife together. Looks good so far. Look at that. That's something else. Tell you what, so we got a little bit more work to do. It's not quite done yet. Needs an edge, needs my name on it, and also needs a pocket clip mounted. So let's go ahead and get that done. I'll show you how I use the pantograph to mark my name on it, and then we'll go ahead and sharpen it up, and we'll have another Mk8 entering the world. That's exciting. Cool. All right, let's go to the pantograph. All right, guys, this has just been a massive tour through the shop. I'll tell you what, these videos are going to show you pretty much all the tools that I use here. This is what's called a pantograph. I have a video out on this showing you how this operates, but what this is basically an analog copying machine. These have been around for a long, long time, since the time of the ancient Greeks, believe it or not. They've been using pantographs and pantograph lathes for a very, very long time to copy things. Little known fact, you remember during World War II, if you've ever looked at some of the tooling that John Garand invented for the M1 Garands, or Garand, I guess, he used pantograph lathes that were actually modeled after tools found in the shop of Martin Luther back in the day. So anyway, this is a scribe pantograph, and what it does is it actually has a little diamond bit right here. And what it does is, you can see, it will copy my motion that I make here with this stylus, and it will actually scribe it onto a piece of work right here. Now, there are ways to adjust the ratio of the work and whatnot if you want to have the engraving be larger or smaller, but generally speaking, I have it set up to wherever I need it. I just put my piece in here, and I want to mark right here my name. Now, most knife makers are using electric stencils. They're actually using a reactive solution of acid to create an etching into their blades. And I found that there are two problems with this. One, resolution is not very good. It's unfortunately difficult to actually get fine detail in there, especially if you have a fairly thin signature or whatever that you're using for your maker's mark. Mine happens to be my signature, and it's fairly thin. It's very, very difficult to print right on an electric etcher. So I like to use the pantograph. The other problem with electric etchers, by the way, is that the etching is actually done with a corrosion process, and it can actually, over time, lead to rusting right there in those spots. So, my opinion, pantographs are better. But this is a seriously old school machine. This is a Hermes pantograph that was made in the 1970s, I think, or actually this might even be older than that. Yeah, but this is a really, really old machine. I bought this secondhand, and it was pretty expensive. These are rare machines. They're not made anymore. If you can find one, they're fantastic machines to have in the shop, but they are specialized. They're really meant for engravers, guys who are doing that kind of thing. But anyway, I'll show you how I do this. I don't have like a brass stencil, but a lot of times you'll have a brass stencil for this. But I just scribe my signature on here. Everyone's just a little different, but part of the charm, in my opinion. Just go ahead and trace around here. There we go. Now, let's have a look here. Ah, wunderschön. I like this. I really like this look. The nice diamond engraving creates a very nice bright silver finish there, and I think it's utterly pretty. Let's go ahead and get this sharpened up and get that pocket clip mounted, and we'll be ready to go. Awesome, looks good. I went ahead and sharpened up our blade, and this is nice and shaving sharp. I don't know if you can see the hairs on there. Anyway, let's go ahead and mount this thing up and get it going. Now, the pocket clip is kind of an independent subsystem, if you will. I don't have to have this apart in order to install that. It's relatively easy to put on without everything together, or all apart. So go ahead and put this together. This will look nice, I think. So, wir sind zusammen. Letztes Mal. Den Rücken. Perfekt. Okay. Unsere Messer arbeitet. Okay, we got this together. Now one last thing, we got the pocket clip. I gotta finish these screws. Actually, we took them out and bronzed them and then decided I didn't want them bronzed, so we're gonna actually take that off. To do that, chuck them into the cordless drill, take a thing of Scotch-Brite and run it. Okay, my battery's getting low. You can hear it, it's just kind of chugging. Oh well. That's all I needed to do right there. Oh man. These poor batteries. Drills, they only last so long in the moon shop, unfortunately. We run our cordless drills pretty hard and require a lot of them. Granted, my dad's also using it for his own projects with robots and things. More on that to come, I suppose. You've probably already seen the video about the Red Shirt T1 on my channel. But if you haven't, go ahead and watch it. We've got cool things coming out on that front. But that's not knives, and for the most part, people are here for the knives. So I found. So ich gefunden habe. I think that's German. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I like I said, I went to school for. I have a minor in German foreign language, and so I like to speak it as much as I possibly can. Anyway, so there we are all together. Let me go ahead and rinse this off, and I'll take a microfiber fleece to it and clean it all up good before I go take some pictures of it. So unfortunately, these polished blades are a magnet for smudges and things, so you got to take a microfiber and clean it all really good. But so far, I'm liking the looks of this thing. It's a little more sleek with that sort of reduced thumb ramp there. It looks really good. I think it feels really good. Very nice in hand, and this great action on that. Cool. All right, so we got another Mk8. Woohoo! Neat. All right. Okay, so it's a little bit brighter than I normally prefer outside, but I can at least show you the finished product. And there's our blade. That mirror polish blade I think looks pretty good. Nice satin flats there, crown spine on it. There's that orange peel finish, done in teal. Hopefully the color is coming through. There's our jeweling that we did on the inside. That looks really good. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Centers up nicely. Flips nice. Nice pantograph etched signature. Textured edges there. Everything looks great. So this is ready to go up on the website for sale. Hopefully this video or set of videos, I don't know if I'm going to break this out into several or not, probably will show you a little bit about what's going on the back end of making a Mark 8. It's not just pulling it out of the mill and putting it onto the website for the customer. There's a lot of handwork that goes on here between all the fitting and finishing and grinding and all that other stuff. It's quite labor intensive, and these knives are a premium for that reason. They're definitely not your average piece of cutlery. Definitely a cut above most of the production stuff, I'd say. But it is all handmade, and you know, definitely one of those kind of knives that is heirloom worthy. I try to make stuff that is going to last the test of time, that people are going to look at in 100 years and say, man, Will, you know, for all his faults, he does make a nice knife. And hopefully that's coming through in this one here. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. See y'all later. Bye.